14 years. That is how long the 2012 edition stood. And in that time, the way inspection actually gets done changed completely. Remote techniques, digital records, artificial intelligence in the field. The third edition, published in March 2026, is the standard catching up. In this video, I go through every substantive change, what is genuinely new, what was restructured, and, just as importantly, what did not change at all. Because knowing that saves you from rewriting things that were already fine. One quick thing before we start, and then I will leave you alone about it. Everything I am about to walk you through, we have already built for you. There is the full ISO IEC 17020 2026 edition documentation kit, 3 separate checklists, 1 for implementation, 1 for your internal audit, and 1 for the accreditation audit itself, and a complete online training course if you want to go deeper than a video can take you. All the links are in the description below this video, right? Now let's get into it. Start with the change everybody has heard about. Type B and Type C are gone. Search the published text. 0 occurrences. What remains is Type A and Type non-A. Independence has also moved. In the 2012 edition, it lived inside the impartiality clause. In this edition, it is Clause 5.1, a structural requirement in its own right, pointing at a normative Annex A. And Type non-A is not described positively. Clause 8.2 opens with, an inspection body that does not meet the requirements of Clause A, point 1 shall meet the requirements below. So it is a residual category with just 2 obligations, segregation safeguards, and no single person performing both the other activity and the inspection of the same item, plus the note under 5.1, which quietly allows different types for different inspection activities. That is new flexibility a lot of bodies have not noticed yet. Now a clause that did not exist before at all. 7.5, control of data and information. 7.5.1 says the system you use for the collection, processing, recording, reporting, storage, or retrieval of inspection data shall be validated. And whenever there are changes, including your own software configuration or modifications to commercial off-the-shelf software, they shall be authorized, documented, and validated before implementation. There is relief in the note. Commercial off-the-shelf software in general use within its designed application range can be considered sufficiently validated. So your standard spreadsheet application is fine as it comes. Your macro-driven inspection template built on top of it is not. 7.5.2 then requires technical data and inspection records to be safeguarded against unauthorized access, tampering, and loss, maintained so integrity and security are ensured. And this is the one people miss, to include information on system failures and the immediate and corrective actions taken. Second entirely new clause, 8.4, actions to address risks and opportunities. 8.4.1 gives 4 purposes. Give assurance the management system achieves its intended results, enhance desirable effects, prevent or reduce undesired impacts and potential failures, and achieve improvement. 8.4.2 says plan the actions, integrate and implement them into the management system, and evaluate their effectiveness. But read the note because it prevents a very expensive mistake. It says, although this document requires the inspection body to take actions to address risks, there is no requirement for formal methods for risk management or a documented risk management process. You may develop a more extensive methodology if you want to. You are not obliged to. And 8.4.3 sets the calibration. Actions shall be proportional to the potential impact on the validity of the inspection results. That is your sizing rule, not corporate risk appetite, validity of results. The third big theme is technology, and it is not in one place. It is threaded through the standard. Clause 6.2.9 names it explicitly: computers or automated equipment, data processing, artificial intelligence, augmented reality, remote inspection techniques For all of it, you must ensure suitability and adequacy for use, establish procedures protecting the integrity and security of data, and maintain hardware and software so they function properly. The note suggests validation of calculations before use, periodic revalidation, revalidation whenever changes are made, and software updates implemented as required. Clause 7.2.5b requires your methods to address activities where the inspector's judgment may rely on the use of technology. And 7.2.5f requires them to address inspection results coming from artificial intelligence or digital developments. And 7.2.6 requires validation of non-standard methods, including when technology is used, with the note naming modeling, artificial intelligence, and remote techniques. If you use any of this today, and most bodies do, this is real work. Competence was always the core of the standard, but the 2026 edition makes the machinery explicit. 6.1.2 now names 6 stages your documented process must address, determining competence requirements, including for professional judgment, selection, initial training, authorization, monitoring, and continual training. 6.1.4 spells out that initial training includes an induction period and a mentored working period with authorized and competent personnel. 6.1.5 requires a monitoring program with a defined frequency, and its note suggests designing it around the risks and complexities of the inspections, previous monitoring results, technical or legislative developments, and inspections using new technology. 6.1.6 makes monitoring results feed 2 things: training needs and the maintenance of authorization. So monitoring has consequences now. And a 6.1.7 keeps observation with a defined escape route if you hold sufficient evidence of continued competent performance, and the note lists what that evidence can be. Then there are things that were restructured rather than invented. The Option A and Option B management system model is gone. Clause 8.1.2 simply lists 6 required elements. And 8.1.3 says you may meet them by running a quality management system, for example, to ISO 9001. Simpler, and it removes an argument bodies used to have with assessors. Appeals and complaints, which used to sit together, now have separate clauses with separate procedures and separate independence requirements. If you run one merge procedure, you will need to split it. Liabilities under 5.2.4 is more demanding. Analyze the risks arising from your activities, assess the potential liabilities, and assure your provisions are consistent with them. An insurance certificate alone no longer answers it, and across the whole document, prescriptive requirements have been replaced by performance-based ones, which gives you more freedom and less cover. And now the part that saves you money, what did not change? Impartiality is still Clause 4.1 with the same architecture. Monitor relationships, identify threats, eliminate or minimize, demonstrate how top management commitment, no remuneration that influences results. If your impartiality system worked, keep it. Confidentiality is still 4.2 with the same scope. Contract review, handling of items, and inspection records carry the same intent, with tighter wording on traceability of amendments. Reports and certificates still carry the same core content items. Internal audit and management review are still the backbone of Clause 8, with management review inputs expanded rather than replaced, so do not start again. Most of your system is still valid. The work is concentrated in independence, control of data, risks and opportunities, and technology. So where do you actually start? 5 things, in this order. 1. Redetermine your independence type per inspection activity against Annex A. It affects your structure, so it goes first. 2. Validate your data and reporting system and build a change control record for it. This is the requirement with the longest lead time because it often involves your software supplier. 3. Add a risks and opportunities process and keep it proportionate. Remember the note, no formal methodology required. 4. List every piece of technology you use in inspection, including anything with artificial intelligence in it, and map it against 6.2.9 and 7.2.5. Most bodies discover they use more than they thought. 5. Split appeals from complaints into 2 procedures and publish both processes. Do those 5 and you have covered the substance of the transition. So that is the change list. New independence model, new control of data, new risks and opportunities, technology and artificial intelligence throughout, competence tightened, and a lot of prescription replaced with performance. The transition checklist bundle in the description is built specifically for this move, mapping the 2012 edition to the 2026 one. The documentation kit is already written to the new edition, and there are checklists for implementation, internal audit, and the accreditation audit. The training course covers the whole standard. Tell me which of these changes is going to cost you the most work, because I suspect it is not the one everybody is talking about. Subscribe for the rest of the series.